I don't give a shit. I think shit's happening.
You like hope it happens.
Well, to some degree, I do. Like, I hate this fucking world. So the sooner we get to the end and start over, the better off we are.
Yeah, that ain't starting over. That's just. I mean, it is cool, but that'd be so fucked
Like
up.
I was telling you guys, I was watching Noah the other night.
Oh yeah, I watched that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good movie.
that's a reset.
Yeah.
That happened.
But it's like a reset that nobody survives from.
Yeah. Right.
Like nobody's here.
But at the end of days,
You know?
of course, it's a different reset because you will have people that make it through it, and people that don't. I want to be one of them that make it through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but if like nuclear weapons get set off and there's no surviving that.
Well, biblically though, Jesus steps in and he saves those people regardless of how it happens.
I don't even want to find out if I'm even one of those people. I just want to, not that way. Not zombie apocalypse way.
Yeah, there's literally no surviving nuclear
I just want to,
nuclear warfare.
I just want to die peacefully. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not have to run. But if it did happen, no, it'd be cool.
Well, okay, so
Like what?
I'm one of
You
those.
got the zombie apocalypse truck.
I do. But I'm one of those who believes it's going to happen. It's just a question of when, right? If you believe in God and the Bible, it's going to happen. It says it's going to happen. So it's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. So you can keep hoping that you're one of them or that it doesn't happen, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of resources you would need to survive nuclear war. Like,
Well, but
you're
biblically, it
talking-
doesn't matter how it happens, right? Jesus will save those who are believers, who are eligible to enter the kingdom. Doesn't matter. if
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
a
going to
nuclear
heaven's one
bomb or-
thing. You're going to somewhere though.
But
you're not living.
He's gonna
That's what I'm saying.
he's gonna keep those he wants here. Take those that are right, their time to go to heaven. There's going to be survivors, no matter what the end looks like.
But like, what do you think you would need? Like, if you were here and you wanted to survive, like,
First
a
of all, I
nuke,
want my truck. I want gas.
where would you get? I mean, you would need to get in a bunker of some kind.
Yeah.
I told him.
Hazmat material. You
Yeah.
need gas mask.
Yeah.
Endless supply of clean food. There's no going back up and plucking some turnips out the ground and onions and
It's like that episode
Water.
of The Matrix where it's all burned up. And
there's
the
no
world's
good
gone.
water.
Yeah.
I mean, you would need so much to.
Well, I'm thinking though that the big guy upstairs is going to make everything habitable again.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in a bunker for 2 decades or whatever.
Yeah, I go crazy. What would you rather have, like a Walking Dead or a Book of Eli? Like End of Days, like would you rather have it like the Book of Eli,
Yeah.
or would you rather have it like the Walking Dead, where it's like zombies walking around?
I don't want no zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's a good question. I mean, if there was a nuclear war, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
But again, I think the guy upstairs is ready to make it all right.
You go straight to the CDC, get everything from there,
Yeah.
take that shit over.
Have you read like? There's a.
Like that's where I'm going, bro. I'm going to CDC, straight to the CDC.
It may not even exist after Trump gets done with all that.
Well, I'm just saying they got all the gear and all that hazmat.
Yeah.
Well, with like Chernobyl.
I'm going to Mickey's.
Have you read about the wolves that have like adapted in Chernobyl to like fight off diseases and like the radiation? They've adapted to the radiation, and there's like thriving wildlife that obviously are able to overcome just about anything at this
Yeah.
point. But there's wolves that have like the immune systems that are similar to cancer patients fighting off cancers.
Really?
Yeah. Like because they've just, they've adapted to all the
It doesn't
radiation.
surprise me. Doesn't surprise me
It's
at
fucking
all.
nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Organisms are
That's
going to
fucking
figure
crazy.
out a way to live. It's just the way they're designed.
Yeah. Wolves, this is AI on Google. Wolves in the Chernobyl exclusion zone have developed a number of adaptations to survive in the highly irradiated environment, including a possible resistance to cancer.
Jeez.
I knew a guy here locally that would go over there every year, every 2 years with a group. And they would be a part of that group that followed how everything was recovering around Chernobyl. He was actually, I think you guys might remember, a few years ago he was murdered over in Overland Park at their office.
Yeah, I don't know.
I won't say his name, but yeah, he used to tell me about. He'd go over there. Yeah, but that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Well, wolves have always been crazy because at one point wolves were like human, like when the settlers were here and going out west, wolves were like our number one enemy.
Right.
And we just like all the other animals, like in the plains, there were grizzly bears. There were, all these different, and, they got pushed into the mountains. Like at one point, grizzly bears were the lion of the land here.
That crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
It is.
But wolves are crazy.
They are incredible. I was telling you guys about that that expert that follows these mountain lions and wolves up in Northwest, and he said the mountain lions had made adjustment to how they prey, and because of the wolves, would kill more often and leave enough for the wolves, so the wolves would leave him alone.
That's wild.
What?
Yeah, he was tracking this mountain lion. This mountain lion would kill more often
Yeah.
and eat what he needed to eat, but then the wolves would eat whatever he killed
Eat the scraps.
and leave him alone. Yeah.
Because they were already full.
Yeah,
They already ate
that's
what they
fucking
needed
crazy.
to eat. Yeah, that's wild.
It is.
Yeah, and like all dogs are like, they came from wolves. Like every dog started, somewhere.
This reminds me of that poster we got over there. We're talking about sort of that
Yeah.
chronology of Earth and wildlife, and it's pretty fascinating stuff. Evolution.
Yeah, and you're a geological engineer. So what do you know about that type of stuff?
The Earth's like 4.6 billion years old, and we know that the continents and the land has shifted around over time, and looks a lot different today than it did millions of years ago. And even the United States, the Ozarks in this area were underwater at one time, under the ocean.
Yeah, like when I was a kid, I used to go down in the valley, down by Truman Lake, and right behind Uncle George's house, and just go pick up coral.
Yep, fossilized coral. Still got it in my rock box. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So a lot of you believe in God and everything. When it comes to evolution, how does that kind of conflict with other people's views?
I was reading something the other
In
day.
that world of things.
It was something like the more science is understood, the stronger the case is for the story of the Bible. There's all kinds of examples. I mean, they seems like they find something new every couple of years that sort of confirms the Bible was real, Jesus was real, and that kind of thing. And it's the earth being created in 7 days and life and by God, and his 7 days is much longer period than 7 days as we know it. And so it took that a long time to create earth and life.
Yeah.
and get to Adam and Eve.
Well, if the Earth wasn't created yet, then there's no Earth days. So like, yeah, that would probably mean that days are a little longer.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, his time is much different than our time, right?
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's that movie Interstellar where they go to different planets and try and find different places
That's the
they could
craziest
possibly
fucking
live.
movie.
Yeah.
They go on one planet and it's like they're there for like a few hours, and it's like every hour is 7 years back on Earth, so they're just trying to rush and like
Yeah,
you
like,
know.
all right,
Yeah.
guys, we only got 30 minutes, and that's 7 years.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Whole different. It's all different. When
Yeah.
you get outside of the Earth's.
remember that shit? She was like, I'm going to the mountains.
Yeah,
He's like,
those aren't mountains.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
like a big ass wave.
Yeah, that's a great movie. I could watch that movie
Yeah.
every day of the week.
Yeah.
Interstellar.
Yeah. It's
Like he was there for like an hour, but his daughter was like 35.
Mm.
But like an hour later, his daughter was like 35 or something, or like maybe 4 hours later,
yeah.
Yeah.
and she was like 5 when he left.
And that's all something I don't really understand that well. That difference in time.
Yeah, that's
Travel.
weird. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, no,
That's for some
that,
brilliant people to understand. I don't get it.
that movie will blow your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, travel, exploration has brought, just about every good thing that you could possibly think of. I mean, Lewis and Clark.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and, it kind of makes me think about Musk and his goal to get to Mars. And I was thinking about this a couple of days ago. We talked. You mentioned the great story of Trump, and might be the greatest American story. Musk might actually be one of the most visionary people we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not on, I don't like the EV battery cars, that kind of thing. I just think I'm just not convinced. But other than that, the guy seems to be
He's brilliant.
a great visionary. Yeah.
Well, and there's some people saying that one of the big reasons he wants to go to Mars is because it has the what's the car batteries made out of?
Lithium.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that on Mars.
Yeah, might be. Yeah.
He's gonna go mine it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like older than I am, I think. He's
Elon?
he's not likely to reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's even a bigger reason to, maybe believe that he's just trying to do what he thinks is the right thing to
Yep,
do.
exactly.
And help humanity, because
That's
he's
what
not
I'm
going to be around to see
Yeah.
where most of these things go.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That dude, he's about
He's
to
53.
So he's not quite older than me, but he's my age. I mean, he's not likely to see
Yeah.
the benefits of that
yeah.
monetarily or otherwise.
He's on track to hit $1 trillion.
Yeah, he'll
Be a trillionaire.
probably, he
Right.
might do it before Trump gets out of office. The world's first
Fucking
trillionaire.
crazy. And he did that shit in like 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, the dude's putting chips in people's, brains to
Yeah,
help their...
That's crazy. Yeah, speaking of visionary,
Yeah. I mean,
Jesus.
there's probably a lot of benefit to that, real benefit to people, to humanity. That scares me. That kind of stuff just scares me.
Yeah.
I'm not putting no chip on my brain.
AI scares the hell out of me.
But,
I'm not
if you were retarded or something,
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
would
You're
you
right.
do it?
That's exactly
Would
right.
you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know it.
If I was retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a grandchild, one of you guys, and there was something like that would help the kid, I'd be all over it.
Mhm.
No, that's what I mean. I'm sure there's great benefits,
Yeah.
If you're retarded.
but it's scary. Yeah.
But like, what can you do?
I mean, I think you're able to basically, you have a computer and you're able to get an answer to just about anything.
Oh, fuck no. You're like, how
You're
tall
able
is
to
that?
put an answer together or
Dude.
solve some sort of
Imagine
puzzle.
just you're just thinking a thought, and you get an answer back. You're like, fuck.
Or
Yeah.
Get out of my head.
or you have something that you can't move your arms and legs, and all of a sudden now you can move your arms and legs because you got this chip.
Yeah.
Still not doing it.
That'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. The advancement of technology, just how rapid it's been. It's always been rapid, but it seems like since the 2000s.
The computer has just made it a whole different world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Microchips and technology is crazy.
And it does have a lot of harm to it, but it's scary.
Yeah.
It is, because you don't know, like, there's so much potential for it to go wrong, too, for society. Like, it gets in the evil hands of some, and they do evil things with it. Now we got a whole different world. That we
I think it's more like a slow burn. Like, it's slowly they're going to have, there's data out there to satisfy any human being.
Yeah.
Like your data is sold to some company, and there's just a formula to what this certain person from this certain area that enjoys this type of thing, what's going to make them tick, what's going to make them vote a certain way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because,
what's going to make them rebel.
it'll be used for good things, but it will inevitably used for bad things as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I guess. But
It's
that's
like-
probably been the case throughout history, right?
That's like literally everything.
That's guns.
Like-
That's that's
You could use this for
Anything.
talking, but you could also pick this up and whack somebody with it.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. You could.
Whack them off.
Right. To a
Whoa,
more
whoa,
serious
whoa,
point,
whoa.
Pause.
Wait a minute.
To a more serious point, though, this gives you a different voice, right? So you can have a podcast like this and say things that are bad that some portion of the population will take literally
Mhm.
and do something bad with it. So you're right. You can do
Like,
good and bad with anything. I mean, we've seen it.
But yeah, technology is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, it's probably the biggest, like, industry, just like technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
look.
we got combines driving
Ever.
themselves now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like, bro, they have
Taking the crops out with combines that don't even need a person in them.
Yeah,
And just how easy it is for the
That's
population to be entertained by sports. I mean, I can't keep my eyes off the TV.
I know.
It's so easy to watch two different games at one time.
I'm sitting here
And
like-
while we're sitting here doing that on a Sunday, they announced that, we're sending another $1 billion to Ukraine. Nobody thinks anything of it.
Yeah, because everybody's
We're,
watching sports.
Mizzou beat KU.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mizzou. We
Yes,
were
sir.
watching that.
Uh-huh.
But while we're watching these sports, and yesterday, and college football and NFL today, and college basketball, oh shit, we just sent another $1 billion to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know that's happening
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Right. And might not ever know that it happened. Some people just are not in tune with these things at all.
Like there should be more moments where people have to get together and vote on things. It shouldn't just be every 4 years or
To keep them
midterms.
engaged.
Yeah, like if we're gonna send $1 billion to Ukraine, like we voted y'all in office to handle some things, but hold on a fucking minute.
Yeah.
Like let's get some polling stations together and figure out if we want to send $1 billion to Ukraine. Is that not like?
Yeah. It's
Guarantee you,
simple as that.
everybody would go and vote no.
Yeah.
The majority of people.
That's possible today with technology, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that block tech. What do you call it? Block. It's like crypto does it, uses it for its
Blockchain.
blockchain.
Yeah, where it's not like centralized, controlled by a certain.
But you can use that
Entity.
same technology to allow people to engage more often in these things, in these matters. Anyway, yeah, I know you're right. It'd be cool to see people more engaged more often, more
Yeah.
frequently.
I mean, they run polls on fucking anything. You know how many polls there were ran for the presidential election?
I know.
Like you can't get run some polls and see if we want to send $1 billion to Ukraine.
Right.
Why isn't that a thing?
Yeah.
It's true.
Jeez. Billion.
If they ran the same amount of polls that they did for the presidential election on issues like that, people would get more engaged.
Yeah.
People would be more up to speed on what the fuck's going on.
Well, and it's
It's like, whoa, we just fucking voted on the poll last month for sending shit.
right.
Why are we sending shit again? You
Well,
know?
and even before that, the long-range missiles that we sent to
Yeah.
Ukraine that requires American presence to fire
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
We actually fired on Russia. The U.S. did.
I know.
Yeah.
In
Like
effect, that's what happened.
that seems like something we should vote on.
Right.
If you
Right.
ask me. Like,
I agree.
yeah, maybe I'm an idiot, but
Yeah.
Like-
Nobody.
I mean, it's still a couple of months, right, before Trump takes over. A lot can happen in a couple of months. It's going to be interesting to see how much worse that gets and the conflicts in the Middle East. And
yeah, and it seems like they're just trying to make it
It
worse.
does.
They're just trying to, because it was like one day Trump and Biden are meeting together, shaking hands, laughing, taking pictures, and then
Right.
he leaves, and the next day
yeah,
we give them the okay
right.
to fire long range missiles.
Well, they shipped Biden
And,
off to Angola to get him out, get him away from things, and things like that happen.
Was that going to the Amazon?
No, he went to Angola in Africa for some, sort of.
Yeah,
Diplomacy.
There's no way that guy's making any decisions.
They were having some kind of meeting, with their headphones on and shit, and he's sleeping.
Like, he needs to go and live out the rest of his days somewhere comfortable.
And he was talking to him, and he couldn't hardly understand
I
what he
mean,
was saying.
dude, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I've never even seen a president like that.
No, I've never seen one fall asleep
No,
as
yeah.
often as he does.
I
I
mean,
really do feel bad for the guy. It's just
Yeah.
terrible. But I don't feel bad in any other way.
yeah.
That guy is.
Who's that?
That guy's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a terrible person.
Why do you think he's a terrible person?
Well, we know his history.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. I was reading some stuff the other day. What was it that I hadn't heard yet? Well, like he's not good at certain things, and people in those circles know that he's not good at certain things, and he's intelligent enough to get where he's got, right, but he doesn't. People don't really like him that much. The people like that have been in those political circles for a long time, and he's not well liked. I mean, all this stuff about he needs a library and he's the best president ever and all that stuff. That's just political talk. That's just Democratic talk. It's just blowing smoke bullshit.
Mm-hmm. But being a terrible person, I think, I don't know. There's probably a lot of different instances where people could point out that, he did corrupt things.
Well, that's essentially what they're saying. He's a corrupt person. Always has been, is what they're saying. He'd tell you whatever you want to hear to gain favor or influence or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think obviously he's like some sort of a liar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just following along with calling Trump Hitler for so long is one thing. I mean, lying. It's like you called him Hitler and you're saying he says all these racist things, and then you meet with him at the White House and you're laughing and shaking his hand. And
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Like, you're a liar.
Yeah, it's just political bullshit.
You're lying to your own people. You're sitting there.
Well, and I promise you, too, he's thinking, I'm going to be like this because it's to my advantage, my family's advantage, that Trump likes me,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him coming after me. We've been talking about that. People are afraid Trump's going to come after them, open up the lists and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to sit there and fake smile.
Yeah, right. I mean, we see this all the time in our lives.
That's hilarious.
People are not real. They're what they need to be to gain favor of some kind. Happens all the time. See it in our daily lives. They don't have the courage to just stand firm on their principles. Well, a lot of people don't even have principles. Biden ain't got no principles. Harris ain't got no principles. Ain't no way.
Yeah, and Harris also, she called Trump Hitler and like so many times and just, made him out to be this dictator. And then she calls him to congratulate him on his victory.
Mm.
So is he Hitler, or are you congratulating him on his victory? Like,
Yeah.
which one is it?
Yeah, they're just afraid.
Like you're a fucking liar.
Most of them politicians want influence. That's it. They want power.
They don't give a fuck what they do to get it.
They don't.
Crazy.
They don't. Some of them are good. Some stand on their principles. We know who they are. But most don't, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's a good talk. I think we got Chiefs coming up.